Hi, good evening, everyone. It's Bob. Hope you're well. It's Sunday night at 7 o'clock, and I just wanted to welcome all of you to my Instagram Live that I have on Sundays. And we'll give a couple minutes for folks to join in, and hopefully everyone got to enjoy the weekend a little bit. There's a lot of stuff going on, obviously. Talk about those things and answer your questions as well. So I look forward to having some conversation and giving some information. Hello, everyone that said hi. Appreciate it. Again, I hope everybody's doing okay. Had a good weekend. Was in Darien today, and I'll get into that in a second. Spent some time in the yard gardening and weeding, which is no fun, but it's still good to get outside a little bit. Took a run today, which was good. So a lot of good things going on. So, all right, I think we've got see, it's about 7:01 now, and it's probably a good time to start since everybody who's on here already is here on time. And I just want to say thank you again for taking time out of your busy schedules for chatting with me and telling me what's on your mind and what's important and things like that. So it's my pleasure to do these, Jenna. Thank you. And again, I appreciate everybody spending their time with me. Okay, let's get to it. So the numbers, and there's a quick update for you. Won't take too long, I promise. So as of tonight in Connecticut, there are 43,968 people who've had positive COVID-19 tests. 333 of them have been hospitalized, who are hospitalized right now. That is a big drop from where we were at the beginning. So the numbers keep continuing to go down, which is great. 4,071 people have died, unfortunately, from COVID-19. In Fairfield County, 16,056 people have tested positive. 111 people are hospitalized, and 1,312 people have died. Now, what I've heard locally from our hospitals is that there are very few numbers now of folks in the hospitals for COVID. So let's hope it stays that way, and that everybody stays safe and wears their masks and washes their hands and does social distancing, all the other precautions that are necessary. In Norwalk specifically, we have 2,043 cases, which is an increase of 9. No new deaths to report today, which is great. We have a total of 135 deaths, unfortunately, in Norwalk. 204 cases in Darien. Starting tomorrow, the Norwalk Public Library will open library helplines for the public. Staff will be available between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. Monday through Friday. Emails will continue to be answered as soon as possible. The main branch can be reached at 203-899-2780. And the Sono branch can be reached at 203-899-7890, extension 15902. I'm sure that's all on our website as well, so you don't have to write down those numbers furiously, but just know that the library helplines will be open tomorrow. Norwalk Public Schools has released the first ever Norwalk Has Talent showcase on Friday night. Performances by students from K through 12. Features musical theater, instrumental ensembles, dancing, and singing. You can watch the video on the Norwalk Public Schools YouTube channel. So just go to YouTube, Norwalk Public Schools, and you can find that Norwalk Has Talent. The Connecticut Department of Social Services announces that it will provide an additional $16.3 million in SNAP benefits, otherwise known as food stamps, to nearly half of Connecticut's SNAP participants on Friday, June 12th. So that would be very good news. The governor today released Phase 2 business rules, which I posted this morning. Phase 2 is now scheduled to begin on Wednesday, June 17th. It was originally supposed to be scheduled June 20th. But it's Father's Day, so I think the idea is try to open it up a little before then, since our numbers have been going down, which is good for hospitalizations. So the Phase 2 includes amusement parks, hotels, indoor dining, indoor museums, zoos, aquariums, libraries, nail salons, tattoo parlors, and sports and fitness facilities. So look it up at ct.gov/coronavirus for the guidelines and what's open, what's not open, and you can see it right there. Over 45 banks have agreed to extend their participation in the Connecticut Mortgage Relief Program, which provides relief to consumers who are facing financial hardship because of COVID-19. The program was set to expire May 31st, but with the 45 banks will be extended until July 30th, 2020, and contact your bank to see if they are participating. Again, state campgrounds will open on July 8th for tents and July 1st for RVs. So if you're interested in getting to a state campground, that'll open on July 8th for tents and July 1st for RVs. Any issues on with enforcement or anything else, please call 211 or your local health department as you know, to be helpful, especially as new things open. But the enforcement is down in the localities, not the state. So even though there's state rules, the enforcement is down by the communities. And again, nobody's trying to get anybody in trouble. It's just trying to guide people or guide businesses to make sure that they're doing things that they need to be. Everybody needs to also be certified, and they can download instructions on how to do that. Again, physical and mental health is important for folks. So the nice weather, it's a beautiful day today. It's going to be nice the next few days. Make sure you please get outside, take a walk in your neighborhood, go to the beach, something. Just make sure you are, you know, if you're going to be close to people, you're wearing masks. Even when you come home, wash your hands. If you're going to be at a place where there's lots of people, socially distance yourself, things like that. So anyway, those are some of the things to do. I just want to mention today I was at a protest in Darien. I was really, really proud of this because this was not set up by the adults. It was set up by students at Darien High School, and they did a great job. I think one of the kids may be a graduate of Darien. I'm not sure that he's still a student there now, but he could be. And he works at Trader Joe's. So everybody met at Trader Joe's, and Trader Joe's was excellent. They brought out water for everyone, snacks, things like that. So it was really, it was nice to have a bottle of water to walk down with. We walked from Trader Joe's all the way down to the police department, and the police were there. We took the southbound lane on Route 1, and it was probably about 1,000 people there. And the students who did this, I think, only put it together about 36 to 48 hours ago. And they thought they said at the beginning that they thought they'd only get 20 people, and they got 1,000 people. And so good for them for taking the initiative, doing it themselves. They were the ones speaking. I think the only adult they had to speak was the police chief. But other than that, it was run by the kids, started by the kids, done by them. Everybody wore masks. I socially distanced myself the best I could, but it was really a very, very good event in Darien. So I have to kudos for the students for starting that. I'm going to post their pictures a little bit later on after this tonight. So I'm just real proud of them for doing that, because it's easier sometimes for the adults to do those things, but it's better. It's really awesome when the kids get that done too. So I wanted to just mention that. And yesterday I was at the Norwalk Town Green between East Avenue and Park Street. So I just spontaneously went there, set up a couple chairs, did a live video, and said, look, if you want to come down and talk, feel free to come down and talk, because it's been a very tough couple weeks emotionally for a lot of folks. It's been a very tough few months for folks because of Corona. So there's a lot of things going on for folks, and so there's kind of a convergence of a lot of emotions, a lot of stress for folks, and sometimes you just want to talk it out a little bit, and that's why I was at the Green. I'll do that again in the future. But I thought it was a good opportunity. I had a couple people stop by, which was great, and I'll make sure I do that again. But again, it's just been with Corona, and then with George Floyd, his death. It's just a lot of emotions right now. I did participate in a forum on Monday with Mayor Rilling and the police chief and some of our council members and some of our Board of Ed members, and I thought that was good too. The real thing for us is that we have to all be very honest. We have to be listening and learning, and then we have to act. And one of the first ways people can do is if they would just make sure they are registered to vote and they actually vote this November. That is the first and most basic thing folks can do. I'm not saying who to vote for. I'm just saying that if you want to really make change, or if you want to have your voice heard, please register to vote. Get your friends, your family to register to vote, and then actually vote. Because your candidate doesn't win, and there's no reason to be upset if you didn't vote or your family members didn't vote. Everybody has to participate in this democracy. And then once that happens, then you get involved in the process, the legislative process or the executive process, and pushing legislators or your council members or the mayor or whoever to be able to do the things that you want them to do. I always say as a leader, you can't lead if you don't have the army behind you. So I need folks behind me who are supportive of the things that I want to get done and the things that you want to get done. We all have to listen to each other. These are tough times. We're all learning things. And we all need to make sure that we're using the 2 ears, 1 mouth rule, which is listening twice as much as we talk, and being uncomfortable at times, and understanding and acknowledging the issues that are plaguing our country, that have been plaguing our country for a very, very long time. In this country, change is incremental at times, and people's understanding of things is incremental at times. But I'm very optimistic about what I've seen over the last couple of weeks with the protests, is that you see people really coming together, really talking, hopefully understanding, and hopefully getting ready to act. So again, please make sure you vote, you register to vote, make sure you please vote on election day. Those things are going to be really, really important. We do want to make sure that people have the ability to vote this year. So I support the absentee balloting this year. So Secretary of the State is sending out absentee ballots to folks who are in the parties for the primary in August, but I want to see the same thing for the election in November. Now that could either be done through maybe executive order by the governor or by the legislature. However it gets done, I want to see it get done. I want to make sure that everybody has the opportunity to vote on election day. So, okay, so here we are. Let me get to some of the questions and see where we are. Let's see. I'm going to just scroll down. Pardon me. Hope you don't mind. I'm a Rangers fan, so I'm not wearing the Rangers shirt for any particular reason. Just I decided just being a fan. And even though it's summer, I'm a hockey player, so it's always there's always ice somewhere, and a way to get on the ice and skate. So I missed a little bit of the ski season because of Corona, so I'm missing that. But hopefully we'll get a chance to. I like winter sports. I'm a winter sports guy, even though I love the summer. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Somebody asked me about 60 minutes because I guess why not do 6:30? Because 60 minutes on, it's good point. I just try to keep it consistent. I don't know, I have I guess you can DVR it if you'd like, but I try to keep this at a consistent time. Okay, let's see, Petty asks, when will surgery start in Norwalk Hospital? I believe they are starting right now, that they are beginning to start elective surgeries very slowly. That's what the president of the hospital has said. So if you have a surgery scheduled, I would call them and find out when you can get it started. But they are starting them again because they have fewer and fewer COVID cases. They're also saying that 911 calls to the emergency department are up. And actually that would sound like a bad thing, but that's actually not a bad thing, because what we were finding when we told people to stay away from the hospitals, people really stayed away from the hospitals. And that when an ambulance came, sometimes it was too late to a house, and people weren't calling 911 when they really needed it. So if you have a problem or a concern, please do. If you have a medical issue or something, don't wait. Call 911. Get to the hospital if you're feeling sick and you need to get medical treatment. So let's see. Do you know the likelihood, Jen asks, of a special session being held next month to amend the Constitution? But you're not going to be able to amend the Constitution because that takes multiple steps and that needs to get on the ballot. Remember, we tried that a few years ago and was rejected by the voters. We would just need to change the law about, in our state constitution, just in case people don't know, it says that the only way you can vote absentee ballot is by sickness. And then in the statute that we have, the law that actually codifies that, it says his or her illness. So we can fix the statutory law, we believe, in that. That's what the question's about. So again, we want to make sure that people can vote this year, and we want to make sure that if they're concerned about not going to the polls because of COVID or anything like that, that they can have that opportunity. So I fully support that, absolutely. Let's see. Where do you know where the state stands on? Let's see, CC Barnes. Do you know where the state stands on opening schools in the fall? Are there different options, plans? I think that's going to come out in July. Actually, not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday. I'm going to have the Education Commissioner on my Facebook Live at 7 o'clock p.m. So mark your calendars for next Wednesday. Not this Wednesday coming up. I will have one this Wednesday, but not with the Education Commissioner. But 2 Wednesdays from now, I'll have Dr. Miguel Cordona, who's the State Education Department Commissioner. You can talk about all that kind of stuff. Okay, and then let's see. KM Penta, what are the odds of multi-voting day, like a few days? Yeah, I would love that. I think that I don't know. It's so hard to do all these things right now because not being in legislative session, and it's very difficult for us to even debate legislation because of the rooms are small, everything is small, and trying to do amendments and debates, and people share microphones and all that kind of stuff. So it's not impossible. It just makes it harder. And then trying to get 187 legislators, maybe you can split the House and Senate, the staff and everybody else. So it's hard to do all the things we want to do. But I think that I would love to see multi-voting days so that you can not just vote on Tuesday, but like they have in other places, you can actually go vote maybe a couple days beforehand, and that way it would stagger so that wouldn't, so many people wouldn't be at the voting booths just between 6 in the morning and 8 o'clock p.m. But I think maybe the absentee ballots will help change that so that folks can do that. But yeah, I agree with you about changing it, absolutely. And I'd love to see that. If we can figure out a way to get that done, I would love to be able to do that. So, all right. Any other questions? And again, it's really a privilege and an honor to represent you all and to be at places like the rally or the protest we had last Sunday, was it Saturday or Sunday in Norwalk at Connecticut Avenue? I think that was Sunday. And then today in Darien, and then being in the community and being around and trying to be part of the solution because we're all really in this together. And what I've seen though, maybe it's from COVID, maybe it's from what happened with George Floyd, maybe it's a combination of the two. It just seems like people are a little more gentle these days, and I hope that continues. We need to be kind to each other. We need to be polite and decent, and I'd say most people are. It's just that there's always a few that kind of ruin it. But I will say, again, people ask a little bit about our laws here in Connecticut. Our laws on police accountability and use of force for police are very, very strong. We've done a lot of things here in Connecticut on those issues. In fact, I would say we're very, very far ahead of most other states on that. So basically, in other states, I know you get hired, you get a badge and a gun, and you're on your own. Here in Connecticut, it's at least 6 months at the training academy, then probably another 4 or 5 months before you even get to be on your own. So there's a high standard, there's a high bar to be a police officer. It doesn't mean that the state's perfect, doesn't mean that communities are perfect, and certainly doesn't mean that the police departments are perfect. But we have worked very hard in the legislature to increase transparency, to increase accountability, to have very strict rules on use of force, and those types of things. So those are really, really important. So we can build upon those things, but we have to know that some of the laws that are already in place that are really very good. So I appreciate that comment. Thank you for your transparency, making yourself available. My pleasure. I think that this is stuff really, really important. Okay. Any other questions from folks? Any other questions? Okay, if not, well, I wish everybody let's see, what time is it now? It's 7:20, so, all right. Anybody have any other questions? I've mentioned on that issue. Okay, well, I wish everybody a good week. Join me Wednesday for my Facebook Live. We're going to have Monette Ferguson from the ABCD. We're going to have somebody from the Department of Labor and Job Board as well. And so I think it'll be a very good conversation. And Anyway, so we'll have ABCD, which has a new name now, and it'll be a good conversation this Wednesday about jobs. And then next Wednesday, I have the Education Commissioner. So again, hope you're well. Have a great night, everyone. And I will talk to you soon. Be good to each other. Take care. Bye.